Alright everyone, link in the description. Count Dankula has decided to join the Black Power resistance to fight against white supremacy, which is a welcome thing. So he's got his pug, and his pug fucking knows what's up with Yakub and other things, so if he says Black Power, that's what I'm talking about. I'm feeling a little bit of that myself at the moment. I definitely believe black is a great thing. You know, this is tongue-in-cheek. For those that too late didn't read, for those who may be confused right now, Dankula is mocking, satirizing those who thought that he was a Nazi for training his pug. As a joke, to piss off his girlfriend, he trained his pug. This is what he's known for, which is, I'm sure, hilarious to him at this point. He's known for having been put on trial by the nation of Scotland for no reason, aka he trained his pug when he said, you know, certain words that I won't repeat for algorithmic purposes, but, you know, the acronym HH stands in for it. His pug would do a certain type of salute. Well, now it's still doing the salute, but it's only responding to Black Power, and so it's very, very funny. I strongly support this, and it'll be funny. They'll probably try to go after him. They'll say, well, he's making fun of racism, and so that makes him a racist or something like that, and he probably knows that. But I think he's getting into, like, politics and mainstream journalism and stuff. More power to him, by the way. He's sort of fighting the power from the inside, I guess, at this point, but it's fairly obvious he's still an edgy dude, and that's the funny part about Dankula. He's never had, like, far-right or bigoted beliefs or anything. Like, when I listen to him talk about economics or something, I'm like, whoa, look at the commie, something like that. He's like a leftist dude. He's not a fucking Nazi. He's also not a Black Power warrior. He's probably, ideologically, he's probably closer to a movement like that, you know, than he would be a group of skinheads. You know, they're not going to accept him anyway. So I think he, look at the username Dankula, I think what does he smoke weed all day and stuff like that, and raise his pugs. Now, he's been viciously assaulted. Like, some of the hit pieces that they put out about him, even now, long after the fact, they're like, oh, this firm hired the Nazi pug dude. It's like, dude, he explained it already. It was a fucking joke. Will you ever get over it? Apparently not, so I guess all he can do is make the joke over and over again in a different form that you can't prosecute. I guess it's going to be interesting because Black Power probably won't, you know, maybe that doesn't get him in any trouble because it's not considered a racial thing to say. But if it was a different kind of power, then, you know, things are a little bit different, I suppose. The double standard is a little bit palpable, especially over there in Europe. It's a little bit different here in the United States. People here, I think, generally comprehend the fact that all of these different movements are racial in nature. That's the whole fucking point. But yeah, it's funny. I support his pug antics, his pugnacity. No, it's really very funny. Count Dankula is a far out dude. I think he hangs with Sargon mostly at this point, and some of the other people that are over there. They've got way more problems with political correctness and bullshit like that than here in the United States. People here think there's a civil war approaching because people get deplatformed off of a website. It could be worse. I'm not saying, like, yo, be complacent, roll over, play dead, and deal with it. That's not what I'm saying. You should definitely fight the power. Be an anti-establishmentarian. Don't you fucking ever back down. But it could be worse. We could be France. We could be Germany. Or we could be the UK, I suppose, you know, where you get thrown in jail for a dog joke or because you recorded outside of a courthouse at the wrong time and your name happens to be Yaxley Lennon and the BBC doesn't like you. They're still trying to deplatform Tommy Robinson. I guarantee you they're going to keep going after these people because they're being enabled to do so. They're scumbags. They can't deal with it. They can't debate you because they're wrong, so they have to shut you down. And whenever they can't do that, they call the person a Nazi to try to prevent them from reaching a larger audience. Oh my God, according to this one thing you said 6 years ago, you must be like Hitler incarnate or something. It's fucking bullshit. And it's fed by a bunch of people, corporatists, you know, people who make a lot of money off that sort of tabloid garbage. They set people up and then they attack them, basically. They do this to mainstream celebrities all the time. It's more convenient for them to do it to people whose income are lower because then they can't hire the Harvard high-powered lawyers as easily. And then what they do first is they try to keep you from making money so that you can't crowdfund a legal defense. Have you noticed that the first step is always fiscal? In all of these cases, it's always the PayPal, Chase MasterCard, something like that, or you know, some British bank or whatever, Deutsche Bank, or they go after like Patreon or something like that, or they go after the alternative payment processors and stuff. That's the first thing, you know, that's how you know that you're going to get attacked more is when they go after that. If it's just, well, you got banned on Twitter, well, maybe you just said something that was against TOS, It might be a one-off. It might have been someone who thought that the flag was legitimate, isn't even part of a politically partisan group. Not often, but it's possible. Now, if they go after your payment system first, there's a reason for that. It's an organized attack, and we've seen that many times. I think all of them have been, I think Dankula has been deplatformed on some platforms. He's a little bit more resistant to it, I think, because it's like you have to be really, really out there to think that he's a Nazi or something. But then other people, they get like slam-a-jam it all the time. Interesting world we live in. That's about all. Peace out.